Thank you to everyone for joining us live today for this week's edition of Tech Tuesday. Today's session, Data Management. Presented by the Canadian Securities Exchange, we're pleased to have two companies, Brian Kalish, CEO of Xigem Technologies Corp, and Kaiser Akbar, President and CEO of SoLVBL Solutions. I'll be your moderator, and this represents today's lineup. Our objective in running Tech Tuesday is twofold. First, for companies to gain visibility and traction on an accessible platform. The second is to inform capital markets players and investors about these types of companies in the tech space, while also providing new knowledge of what is happening in the world of data management. For you as guest attendees, we ask that you share your ideas, leads, possible funding, and feedback with our presenters. You may even have a potential strategic relationship for them. You can find their contact information located in the profile box on the right-hand side. We won't be giving management advice, and please don't treat our presenting companies as targets for marketing services. Some housekeeping matters. If images aren't clear or pictures are incomplete, check your bandwidth, refresh your screen, call your IT department, or try a different platform as we are broadcasting on YouTube, LinkedIn, and AirMeet. Please note our disclaimer. This presentation is for information purposes only and is not a solicitation to make an investment in either shares or debt or to buy and hold stock. CSE and myself, Barrington Miller, as a session host, make no representation about these companies, and if you are interested in their investor pitch deck, please contact the companies directly to get detailed information. Each company will have 5 minutes to present, along with their PowerPoint. After all the companies have presented, we'll move on to Q&A. And today's presenters. First, we'll lead off with Brian Kalish, CEO of Xigem Technologies. Second, of course, will be Kaiser Akbar, CEO of SoLVBL Solutions. Brian is the co-founder and CEO and director of Xigem Technologies, symbol XIGM. He is a serial entrepreneur with considerable startup, operational, and capital markets experience across a wide range of sectors, including media, healthcare, consumer packaged goods, professional sports, technology, specialty finance, and government relations. Prior to Xigem Technologies, Brian co-founded and led the creation of Canada's largest publisher of alternate newspapers, served as a founding director and president of various specialty finance companies, and founded the first of its kind vertically integrated healthcare company. Earlier, he co-led the acquisition and redevelopment of the Toronto Argonauts, Argos, in the CFL and founded the first interactive point-of-purchase retail medium in Canada. Brian has a degree in political economy from York University in Toronto. And with that, I would like to turn it over to Brian Kalish. Thank you so much, Brian, for agreeing to do this.
Hi, Barrington. It's nice to hear your voice. Appreciate the opportunity to be with you and nice your good listeners. So we're doing some interesting things here at Xigem Technologies. We call them technologies for the remote economy, because if everybody can remember back to the before the socioeconomic forest fire that was the pandemic, the whole world functioned on shared things, shared apartments, shared bicycles and tricycles and cars. And as the pandemic kind of led us through, places that we prefer not to go back, some things have changed. And what's changed primarily, the way we look at it, is, the shared economy became the remote economy. And so we looked at various opportunities to try and take advantage of the dynamics that existed there. And so we started with one tech called iAgent, which is basically a synchronizing tool that merges sales and marketing and fulfillment ideas at the point of contact. And we use that as a jumping off point to synergize a series of patented and proprietary technologies from the $300 billion SaaS market and the $240 billion big data market, all part of what we see as being this $1 trillion plus remote technology. market, or the remote economy market. So in the last year, we've done some interesting things. Since we went public in March of 2021, we added about $30 million in assets and approximately $5 million in revenue generating potentials to really build what we see as a SaaS-based, AI-driven ecosystem that combines CRMs, ERPs, and a considerable business risk component, all which we ultimately will cross-pollinate to create a multi-tiered revenue structure for ourselves, and drive revenue and value for our shareholders. The markets that we focus on are primarily in the worlds of manufacturing, consumer packaged goods, retail, healthcare, and those elements that really have, been primary leaders in the remote economy, where people are now more comfortable, working with flexibility, as opposed to in the kind of constructs that existed before COVID hit. So our three main technologies are really, as I mentioned before, designed to work in a neat little ecosystem. They're all proprietary, the tech. A number of them are patented, and again, with iAgent, functioning as kind of the pivot. We also have Fui, which is a peer-to-peer payment platform that helps to enable the iAgent component on the fulfillment side, and Silex, which is our most recent acquisition and largest acquisition to date, which was upwards of $30 million, acting as the tie. It's a risk profiling technology with underlying data points that are over 30 years old, and is currently undergoing $1 million tech upgrade. So between those three platforms and some of the other interesting things we have on the go, we really expect 2022 to be a banner year for Xigem and our shareholders.
Thank you so much, Brian, for that. For our audience and listeners, if you'd like a copy of the full presentation, please just send us a link. And right now, we're going to move on to our second presenter, Mr. Kaiser Akbar. Kaiser has over 25 years of experience in the field of law, corporate finance, and business in Canada and Europe. Kaiser was the CEO of a chemical engineering startup and co-founder of a renewable energy company. In addition, he worked as in-house counsel for investment companies in Canada and has also worked as a lawyer for law firms in Canada and overseas. Kaiser received his pre-MA and MA in economics from the University of Manitoba and his JD from Osgoode Law School at the University of Toronto. Kaiser, thank you so much for agreeing to this, and thank you for SoLVBL for being on the CSE. I'm going to turn it over to you, Kaiser Akbar.
Thanks, Barrington. Thanks for it's been a while since we've met, but glad to be here. Glad to be speaking at the CSE Tech Tuesday. I am the CEO of SoLVBL Solutions. Let me give you a brief overview about SoLVBL. I'll speak to you a little bit about our cutting-edge cybersecurity technology that we call Q by SoLVBL, how our business has been doing since we've been listed on the CSE in February of 2021, and our plans for the future, and also talk a little bit about the cybersecurity market, which is very, very topical and hot right now. Our company, we're an innovative cybersecurity company. Our mission is very simple. It's to empower better, faster decisions by developing a universal standard for establishing digital record authenticity. Our flagship cybersecurity product, which we call Q by SoLVBL, is a patented product. It has been cryptographically validated. It's proprietary software, and it's been designed for ease of use and adaptation. It's been economically priced, and it provides a digital record authentication at lightning fast speed. We believe Q by SoLVBL allows organizations to establish trust in their data. So let me synthesize our technology into 5 attributes. Firstly, as I mentioned, we use advanced cryptography for greater data authenticity, or call it integrity, and protection against 2 things: data substitution or corruption for data at rest, and man-in-the-middle attacks for data in motion. Secondly, our technology is patented, as I mentioned earlier, and we're also in the process of filing other patents with the U.S. Patent Office and in Canada as well. Thirdly, our technology has unprecedented speed and scalability, allowing you to move at the speed of business. We can process over 150 transactions per second with a very low latency. And fourthly, we provide enhanced confidentiality. We never get to see your data. So we are data agnostic. Whatever you do, what we do is we seal your data, we cryptographically, and that's our job. We don't get to see your data. So that keeps your data confidential from us or anybody else. And finally, we are, as I mentioned again, it's a cost-effective implementation, and the operation is seamless as an add-on or as a replacement. Our business is currently focused on 3 particular verticals, which we can broadly identify as digital forgery or fraud prevention of your data. Secondly, we use our technology to secure digital payment instrument or transactions. And the third one we are currently focused on is use of our product in a verifiable data repository. Our engineers and developers are very busy developing our sector-specific or vertical-specific products with our technology platform. We are expecting to release our initial products sequentially over the next 2 quarters. And thereafter, we will be releasing new products as soon as they come out on a regular basis. In terms of the market, I mean, all you have to do is, turn on the TV or listen to the news, and you see there are ransomware attacks, hacking happening every day. The latest estimates from what we gather is in U.S. alone, last year there were about 6,000 serious cyber attacks. That means, at least 20 attacks every day. The cost is enormous to the global economy. The loss is in the amount of about, last year was about $600 billion US. That's about 0.8% of the global GDP. In terms of the cybersecurity market, it's about 154 billion last year in 2021 US dollars, and it's supposed to reach by 2026 $350 billion. So that's a growth rate of about 14.5%, give or take, a year. So the market is huge, and the potential for our product is just immense. One of the things we've noticed is in the market is the rapidly, as I mentioned earlier, the rapidly increasing cybersecurity incidents and the regulatory requirements are driving the cybersecurity market. And we believe that a strong cybersecurity product would be a strong deterrent in the global fight against these type of cybersecurity attacks. And one last thing I would like to say is that our tagline is very simple: stamp your data before you store, and verify your data before you use. If you use this principle, you can't go wrong. Just one, couple of things I would like to add in terms of for the information for our shareholders and potential shareholders. The market for our product is growing. We are our target market obviously is Canada and the US, and we are rolling out our products into the Canadian and US market in the next couple of quarters. Our plan is later this year to also go into the European market. We've been very successful in raising capital. We raised over $4 million in August of last year. We're very well financed. We're building our team of both software developers, engineers, and sales and marketing team. And we believe that our future is very, very bright, and 2022 will be a banner year for us. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Kaiser. The future's so bright, you have to wear shades. I am dating myself, but that's the reality. Now, this is the part of the show where we call it the Inquisition. Not that serious, not that intense, but it's to ask a few questions. Now, I am definitely outside of my my realm and expertise, so the questions might seem a little bit basic. But now the big thing with data is security. And I guess I want to find out, and I want to know as either as an investor or somebody new to it, how do you guarantee it? How do you ensure the security of the product? Because, you see in media, you're talking about hacks and being compromised and all of those things, and it's playing such a big role. How would you guarantee it? So whoever wants to jump in, it's sort of a general one.
I could jump in. Take the premise. I think, the understanding is now people know that your system will be hacked. It's not a matter of if, but it's a matter of when. So the question is, how do you protect yourself given those type of circumstances? So you want to put up a lot of companies. And cybersecurity companies would put up barriers to their data. From our company's perspective, we detect a hack, and we can detect it at within nanoseconds of as long as they're being audited. So from our perspective, from our company's perspective, and I believe the general consensus is the hackers are extremely smart people, and they'll find a way to enter into your servers or your database. The question is, can you detect it as soon as it occurs? We believe our software provides a way to detect it within seconds. Brian, probably you can add something more to that.
Well, I appreciate that, and clearly, the work that SoLVBL is doing is critical at the kind of the enterprise level. When I think about security for a second, though, I look at it these days as security and integrity of the information that everybody is to receive in order to make the right kind of decisions in terms of how they are making purchases, whether you're a consumer or whether you're a business. The integrity of what it is that you're getting to make the decisions is critical. And that's why, when we looked at opportunities for acquisition and how we can, bolster what we've built, the risk profiling software and database that we acquired from Silex was critical, because as we complete this $1 million build out, we're going to, enable not just the standard kind of, credit score type of components for when a salesperson is walking into a customer's office, or when a consumer is accessing some kind of purchase, either in place or even remotely. We're going to give them information that relates to culture. We're going to give them information that relates to things that they're wanting to make purchase decisions around. So whether it's minority-owned businesses or whether it's things like ESG, the idea that security is going to be pervasive in how we make decisions is critical to the things that we buy on a regular basis.
Absolutely. Agreed. Yes, for sure.
So this, you touched on, both of you sort of touched on a point, and I'm going to go back a little bit further. Data is only as good as the information that's going in. So, and it's only as good as the questions that you ask. So I guess, what are the questions? How do you ensure it? Because, good information in will hopefully be good information out, but I guess I really want to get underneath the undercarriage, so to speak.
Sure, it's always a matter of garbage in and garbage out, and with Silex, not only are we a data originator using the tenets of the AI that we're building out, but we're also a data aggregator. And given the fact that we're jumping off from over 30 years of data, and proven data that people have been making decisions with for 3 decades, the integrity of what it is that we're putting out in the market is beyond reproach. So longevity is one of those components in terms of what it is that makes good data secure and usable, and then the rest, I think, follows the parameters of what it is that you're getting in, and what your procedures, your checks, and your balances are in terms of how it is that you're using it. I mean, it's good old-fashioned QA. I think not to put words into Kaiser's mouth, but that's one of the benefits of SoLVBL is it's instantaneous QA QC on information that comes into an enterprise environment.
That's right. Like, just to add to what Brian was saying is that once the information, the creator of the information, that person, and let's say we'll take our example, we provide a cryptographic seal on that, and then on the other side, the recipient is you want to ensure that whether it's a salesperson or a potential client is actually getting the accurate information. The only way you can verify that is if there is a way to check that the information that's coming out of from one end is actually the information being received, and the other end are the exact same information. And that's where I think we come in as an added to whatever security system that other people are using. So it's you have to have a comprehensive, call it a data security system, and the more you can add to the security, the better off you are. And we are one part of call it the cog, right? I mean, Brian's, XIGM is on one hand, they're providing a security, but you also want to add more and more security to that, layers of security, because the people, the hackers, the ransomware attackers, they are smart people. But you also want to keep up with those. You want to keep up with the hackers and the cyber sleuths. So we want to be one step ahead of them. I mean, it's a race. It's an arms race between, and there are state agencies that are behind it. It's not like one or two people. You just have to open up the your newspaper and you see who are the big state agents, state sponsored call it cyber terrorists out there. So so we are there to fight these guys.
Now, as the world is opening back up, this is just one of the questions that came in prior to the episode. So right now, everybody's pretty much in front of their computer, in front of their laptops, and the workday has extended. So I guess what I'm saying is, as we open up, will companies like yours still see this growth pattern? Do you think it'll shift? Do you think it's here to stay? What's your opinion? Will there be a shift? Yeah, again,
I'll let Kaiser start on this one.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you know what? I was just having a conversation with our team this morning, and about the remote working environment. I mean, we all know that's there to stay. I mean, people. I think in the past 2 years, you've seen that the mindset of corporations or companies, whether they're tech companies or any other company that utilizes, call it, the information technology as their basis, like, a company like ours, or technology company. Remote, work is there to stay, and it's going to grow, exponentially. I believe. I mean, it's people's mindset have changed. So when you are logging into your servers or database, remotely, the chance of these type of cyber attacks are just going to keep on growing. We don't wish for it to grow. I mean, as an individual, as a company, obviously, we are going to be in this business for the longest time, and I think that it's just just looking at the projections, the market's just growing exponentially. So
I have to agree, only because we've built a model around the growth that's going to continue. The beautiful thing about evolution is that it's evolution. It doesn't stop. And there's always going to be triggers. There's always going to be accelerants that we live through, whether we like it or not. The global pandemic was exactly that. Was a tremendous accelerant into changing the way we live our lives. And we could look into all the crystal balls that we have, whether they're plugged in or not, whether they're working or not, and do our best. But I think with the approach that we're taking as Xigem in building our asset base, we're looking for as much flexibility as possible, so that we can be really as many things to as many people and businesses as we possibly can, so that we're able to create that multi-tier revenue stream, while at the same time have a nice cadre of technology that isn't going to go away. It's only going to become more valuable. How we use it, when we use it, is going to be something that we have to be really conscious of market trends around. And we've got really smart people, much smarter than me. It's always good not to be the smartest guy in the room. I don't have that issue with the people I work with. And I think we're going to be poised well as we continue our strategy of bolting on these different technologies to take advantage of what you say, Barrington, is a quickly evolving socioeconomic environment.
Brian and Kaiser, I think that was a great note to end on. I just want to say, on behalf of the Canadian Securities Exchange, thank you both for taking the time. Also, thank you for continuing to be listed on the Canadian Securities Exchange, and of course, making an appearance on Tech Tuesday, available this Tuesday and every Tuesday, both in the past, present, and future. My name is Barrington Miller, and I've been your host. I would just like to thank today's presenting companies: Brian Kalish, CEO of Xigem Technologies Inc., and of course, Kaiser Akbar, President and CEO of SoLVBL Solutions Inc. Thank you to the people who have worked behind the scenes to make this possible: Anil Mall and James Black, and of course, the founder and creator of Tech Tuesday, Mr. Mark Francis. Lastly, thank you to our attendees for taking the slice out of your day to learn and support the companies on Tech Tuesday. Go to the company websites to learn more about them and their projects. If you have a lead for them, please do connect. Next Tuesday, more of the same in our public company showcase. You won't want to miss it. Please don't forget to subscribe, click like on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. May you have continued success in expanding your businesses. We will see you on the next episode.